Hi, welcome back to The Pocket Nutritionist. I'm Katie and I'm here to share simple recipes that help me heal from chronic illness so you can do the same. So everyone, today's recipe is one of my favorites, and it's one of those go-to meals when you don't have much at home but you might have a couple of potatoes lying around, and I know everyone out there loves a potato. I know I do, and yeah, so we're going to get super potatoey today. But it's one of those wonderful meals that you can sort of throw together whenever, for a lunch, a dinner. You could even maybe do it as a breakfast. I think it sort of, for me, it harkens back to when I used to go out on the weekends and have breakfast with a friend, or you go out for brunch and you get some big massive meal from a cafe and end up having to have a coffee after your breakfast because you're so tired because you've eaten all this food. So what I'm going to show you how to make today is a potato rosti, and we've also got an additional recipe for a delicious carrot sauce that I'm going to put over the top. It's served with a large salad as well. It's the perfect way to have brunch with someone if you've got a friend who you want to go out and have some brunch with. You could get them to come round. You could make this as an alternative rather than spending all that money on really greasy, oily, fattening food. This is a way to make yourself feel like you're indulging in something that's like that without actually the negative side effects. I know that when you go through a health journey, there are certain things that shift in your lifestyle. I know certainly for me, going out to brunch was one of the things that I really, really enjoyed to do. And this has been a nice way on maybe a weekend for me to indulge a little bit in some warmer, more grounding foods. And it's helped me just get my head around the shift in that lifestyle. I actually prefer this now, and I think my food actually is better than some of the things that I get out, because I don't like a lot of the things they use, like lots of heavy oils, and they fry a lot of things, and I don't really do any of that anymore. But I remember I made this recipe for my sister one day. I took over all these fresh ingredients. I'd just been to the markets and I went over on Sunday, and she's got this tiny little kitchen, and so we sort of prepped everything, and she's a chef, so the pressure was on, the judgment, not really. But anyway, I made this, and she enjoyed it too, and she doesn't necessarily do things the way I do with my health stuff, but I think she enjoyed it, and it's something that I think anyone would enjoy, whether you're on a health journey or not. So I hope you like the recipe, and let's give it a go. We're getting potatoey. Oh, I'm so excited. Potatoes. So I always recommend organic potatoes. When you buy organic potatoes, you know that they're going to be higher in nutrition, and I just feel a little bit of a difference now between the other potatoes and the organic potatoes. I really prefer how they make me feel. I think they're a little bit less inflammatory than the other potatoes. So you're going to need some potatoes for this. The recipe's below. So I'm just going to go by feel here. It really depends on how many rostis you want to make. Usually you'll be making maybe 2 or just 1 for yourself. And depending on how big you want to make it, I like mine pretty big, so I'm going to do a big one for you today. And the only other ingredient for the rosti is basically some onion. And it's that simple. So you just need potato, onion, and maybe a little bit of seasoning, and that's it. Okay, so I've just peeled and washed the potatoes. The ones I'm using today are Dutch cream potatoes, and I found that they work quite well for this recipe. So all I'm doing there is just chopping that in half and putting it in there. So it doesn't need to be processed because the food processor is going to do most of that for us. We're going to do a fine grate, and we'll do that next and add in the onion as well. So here I've just got 1 brown or yellow onion. This is also organic. I've also found that the onion and the garlic is quite nice when you get it organic as well. I prefer organic onions, but you can just use whatever onion if organic's not quite where you're at. Okay, I'm just going to chop that up. So easy. What I love about this is how quick it is. It takes a little time to cook, but the preparation aspect is super quick. So I've just got that onion, I'm going to put that in there. And yeah, we'll do half an onion today. So if you watched my just previous video last week, I talked about this food processor, and guess what? It's back. So it's definitely worth an investment in something like this. I've had this for over a decade. I don't even know what the brand is. It looks like it's a Philips one, and it stood the test of time. You know, I've used it so much. But what you need for this recipe is a food processor with a grater attachment, and I'm once again going to use the fine grate. I just think it works best for this recipe. There you go. So you're just going to put it onto, I like to use about 4 or 5, and we're just going to put this chopped up potato and half an onion straight in the top. That's 250 grams of potato, by the way, and half an onion. Now, some people won't want all the onion. You can actually make this without the onion. If you don't tolerate onions at the moment, great, just take them out and just do it with just the potato. Here you can see it's all grated up, fine grate. There's a few chunky bits in there which I'll also take out. But now what I'm going to do is squeeze as much water out of this as possible and get it ready for cooking. If you're enjoying this video, please hit like and subscribe. Okay, so now I've got my sandwich press out, and I'm going to put the potato and onion mixture into the sandwich press. You can also do this in a non-stick pan to make different shapes, but this is very convenient and I find that this works quite well. So let's do this. So you're basically trying to make a little flat cake where it's all the same height so that it will cook at the same rate across the entire rosti. And you can see this is going to actually be quite big. There's a little chunk, just get the chunks out. You can keep the chunks in there if you really want. I don't like the big chunky bits. Anyway, so just removing the chunky bits. It's a piece of art. Potato art. I love it. Okay, so this rosti could probably actually feed 2 people, depending on how hungry you are. But it's also, you know, you could have this entire thing for 1 meal, and if you're really hungry. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm just going to close that and put it on for about 20 minutes. Every single person's machine will be a little bit different, so you just need to keep an eye on it so that it doesn't burn. Okay, off we go. So while our delicious rosti is cooking, we can go ahead and prepare the carrot sauce and also the salad. So I did the carrot sauce earlier. For that recipe, you're going to need 500 grams of organic carrots, peeled and chopped, 1 shallot, and 20 grams of fresh ginger, and a ½ teaspoon of sweet paprika, but that one is optional. You don't have to have the sweet paprika if you don't want it in there, but I've added it today. So to create the carrot sauce, first of all, you're going to chop up and peel the carrots and place them on to steam for about 20 or so minutes until soft. Chop up the shallot and the ginger and place it into the blender along with 3/4 cup of water, and then the carrots will go in also once they're steamed, and you'll also add the sweet paprika. Blend it up And then once it's super smooth, you can put it into a squeeze bottle or a glass container, and it will keep well in the fridge for about 2 to 3 days. This is my carrot sauce from earlier. This, you know what, it's so amazing. I have not really made this before, but it just came to me this week and I tasted it this morning and it is utterly delicious. And I love those ginger flavors, those carrot flavors mixed together. It's just so fabulous and feels so nourishing and a little bit spicy. And you know, healthy eating doesn't need to be boring. It can be really yummy, and it's about changing the textures and changing the flavors and changing the way that you prepare the fruits and vegetables to give yourself that variety if you feel a little bit limited with things. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it's just gonna lift up. Just use a spatula to lift that up, and that's just come away just like that. Okay, let's plate it up. It's a big one today. Oh. Now, depending on your hunger, as I said before, you could probably chop it in half and make it into a bit more of a salad-based meal, but just for today, we'll do it with the full rosti. Okay, so what I have in here, or what I had in here, was one baby cos lettuce, plus I had a cup of alfalfa sprouts, 1 grated beetroot and some lemon. You can choose whatever type of salad you want. I just put this one together today because that's what I had. And I've used probably about 3/4 of that, and I've loaded up the rosti. See? I'm a big believer in salad. As someone who never used to eat greens, and hence why I was so unwell. Now I love greens, and getting greens in as much as you can, just push as many greens in as you can, especially in their living form when they're raw like this, and just nicely prepared with a little bit of lemon juice is really delicious. Okay, here we go. The colour. And what's nice about the carrot sauce is that you can add as much as you want. It doesn't have any salt in it. If you need a little bit of salt on this, I understand. Don't add too much. You don't really need to, but there it is. The rosti with a beautiful salad and carrot sauce. So tasty. Let's give it a try. Okay, here we go. It's really yummy. It's got that crunch from the rosti, savoury flavours, sweet flavours from the carrot and the ginger. It just feels nourishing when I'm eating it. Much better option than going out for brunch and having a big hash brown and all the extra breakfast things. This is just so good. This is a perfect brunch, lunch, you can have it for dinner. Really nice to have if you're having brunch with a friend and you don't want to, you know, put junk into your body. It just, that sauce, so good. And then you get that texture through the salad. It's just fabulous. So I really hope that you try this recipe, give it a go, and let me know what you think.